What is going on, everyone? Welcome to episode 143 of Littleroot Lessons. As always, I'm your host, Carter Noble, joined by our fantastic co-host, Carl Wilkin. Sup, dude?
Not a whole lot. I have an addiction to 6-star raids.
I have not done a single raid. I have played more this week. I'm up to...
Good.
Let's see. I'm up to probably like 4 hours, maybe.
I think I'm crossing 40.
Well, you know.
I can actually tell you really fast. Give me 2 seconds.
I get this cooperate with me. Oh, did they remove like the save screen?
What do you mean?
They used to have, whenever you went to go save, it would tell you like how many hours you've played and all that. They removed that.
Oh yeah, no, that's you have to go hit the Y button, hit the X button, and go to your profile.
Oh.
I lied.
I'm at 6 hours.
I'm at 60.
So still the same, the same multiplier of hours, just different number.
Yeah. Makes sense. Now granted, you've played a lot more of the VGC format than I have. You're maybe not as much lately. But I've definitely played my fair share here lately, for sure. I've been exploring teams, and I'm mad because the team I was working on, someone else had beat me to it, and they reiterated it and made it better, and they ended up winning some event. I think it was like the Milan Games Invitational or whatever with it, and I'm a little disappointed because it's literally like 5 of my 6.
Yeah, well,
which is fun. It's great because it's like that's going to be like our first cart team back to laddering too.
Yeah, unless someone gets me a really sick team between now and Thursday when I record, that's what I'm going to be playing. Especially since like this is really really close to what you were playing, so like there's that connection to it as well. So yeah, it's awesome. I'm really excited for it.
It doesn't have a Grass Terra Magna Zone that's shiny, but it's pretty close.
Well, not everyone can be as cool as you, Carl.
Yeah.
I am excited. I haven't played a single game since like Battle Stadium Doubles came up. The last laddering video, which is actually the first one for Scarlet and Violet, is on Doubles OU ladder, which like the team was really cool. It was really fun. I really just wanted to play with like Mousehold, and I want to play with more Palafin. And so like that was the idea behind the team. It's just like I'm gonna try to complement these two as much as possible. And then I just proceeded to run into like 6 Trick Room teams in a row or something absurd.
Yeah, you just couldn't beat the Trick Room teams, and so.
And like even after making the adjustment like on the team of like I was playing like Murkrow. I'm like, all right, well we can put like Taunt on this, and then all the Trick Room teams switched to like Hatteriness or Setter. I'm like, all right, you win.
Yeah,
fine, whatever.
I'm done.
You did it.
Yeah, that's kind of been what I've been seeing is like, oh, people have figured out there's like 2 main teams here. There's the very fast hyper offensive thing with like Roaring Moon and Fluttermane. Or you can play Trick Room over here with like Torkoal, Annihilate, and whatever Trick Room setter you want to play with, and do that kind of stuff.
Yeah, there's so a couple different things. There's Chin Pao plus Dragonite, which I think is really interesting.
I body that thing. Every time I see it, I just body it because it's just like, oh, you're going to Terra Normal? All right.
Which like is super obvious that that's what you're doing. It is so freaking obvious that that's what's going on.
Sure, I'll take your Choice Band E-Speed that's a resisted hit into my Magna Zone. Sure. And then I'll click Body Press and just blow you up. All right.
I don't remember if I did it in the laddering video or not. But I got in, I think, I like I said, I don't remember if it was on camera or not, but I got to haze a Dondozo, and it made me feel so good about my life choices. It's like, oh yeah, this is really good.
Yeah.
I actually had the video like playing on screen as we're sitting here recording, and like Trailblaze Serena was also really sick. Mm-hmm. It's like, just like, again, this is just like another tool that it has access to. It's just like, yeah, this is super awesome, super cool.
They put a lot
And
of nice, unique utility like damage moves into the game.
yeah, for sure.
Like Trailblaze is pretty cool. Chilling Waters is really good.
Agreed. Both of
Like
those I have
these aren't
played a lot.
they're not here to deal a ton of damage, but they're here to just like be a little bit of utility, try to get you ahead, and then you can start clicking whatever powerful moves, or you can terrestrialize and do whatever, or you can set up your defenses and do whatever with that.
Did you know Ampharos gets access to Trailblaze?
Nope, that's a new one.
As does Azumarill.
Huh.
It
is a TM, so that kind of makes sense.
The Evolutions.
Yeah, because if one gets them, they all get it. That's just...
Yep. Lucario. Dude, there's actually some really sick ones on here.
They gave a lot of good coverage out in this generation.
Slaking gets access to it.
Neat.
What?
Alright. I don't care. I ain't gonna argue with it.
Yeah, there's a lot of really, really interesting ones, but like specifically on Serena, it's just like in that awkward middle tier of stats. So like getting a boost to it really does help. Going base 72, you get to a decent speed stat after you go +1, even at neutral. 92, you get +46, so that puts you to 130, 138. So like that's a pretty decent speed stat uninvested.
Yeah.
And of course it just scales from there. So it's sweet. It's really fun. I love my queen being back in the game. And I'm very excited to actually start playing some like doubles, some battle stadium doubles here.
Actual doubles and not pick 6, bring 6.
Do we have official rule set yet, or is it just like
we will not probably have official rules until they get the ranked ladder update like rolling. We won't know until they just say, "Hey, here's the ranked ladder, and this is available now, and this is the rule set, and all that jazz."
By the way, also here's stuff.
Yeah. There is information out there that we are getting an update soon, a patch of some sort.
Yeah, I was gonna.
We're not sure if it's a ranked ladder patch, just like to turn everything on, or if it's like a graphics patch or whatnot. But the word on the street is we are getting a patch for Scarlet and Violet soon.
Good.
Which I'm not sure. Like, I think the ranked ladder thing wouldn't need a patch. I think it would be just more of a turning like switch on in the server.
It didn't need a patch in the past. So I can't imagine it needs it now.
Yeah, like it's there. You could see it. It's just there's no switch to turn it on, and that's all they need to do. So the patch is probably more of here's this to fix the game while we fix more things about the game.
Agreed. Yeah. If I was a betting man, that's probably the case. It's just like, hey, here's some problems that we
have seen and we're gonna fix.
Either we didn't know about or we didn't have a patch ready for at the time of launch, so let's go ahead and start fixing those now.
Yeah.
And like, honestly, I'm very glad that they are addressing that, hey, there are problems in this game, we can make this better than what it is.
Yeah.
Because like, honestly, I've played, like I said, 6 hours, and I've restarted it, a couple different times, just like, it was really noticeable in the first cutscene when you go to like homeroom or whatever. And the kids are sitting there swinging their feet back and forth, and it's very jagged. It's like, oh, that looks real rough, buddy.
Yeah, part of that is the models they used were the long distance models.
Huh, okay.
So for those that do not know how open games usually render things, when they are if there is a lack of loading zones, what games will do is at certain render distances they have specific models they use. And so at really far distances, most of the time it's just a 2D sprite that you see. As you get closer, these models gain more features and more polygons, but they're still not going to have the full fluid movement, and that's part of the thing that I see there in like the classroom or the Mela walk. I don't know if you've seen the meme of that one, how she kicks her feet out really far instead of bending her knees and kind of just bends at the hip. Things like
Yeah.
that. Things like that are just like you're using the wrong. It's using the wrong model, most likely. And if it was using the correct model, it would be a little smoother.
So yeah, I'm hoping that these are like changes that get made, just improve performance.
Yeah.
I have really enjoyed my time with this game and the little bit I've played, and it upsets me that people are going to go, wow, this game looks absolutely terrible. It runs terribly. I'm not going to play this. We're like, also at the same time, this is the most successful console exclusive game that's ever launched.
Yeah, it's already I think 10 million copies sold, and it was like in 3 days or something like that.
The number I saw was 14.
Yeah, it's gone up.
So just like this was over the first like weekend or whatever, just insane numbers.
Yeah, it's just nuts. That all being said,
I mean, I get it. Like I truly do get it. There's a lot to really like about this. Just it's Pokemon, but you get all this like open world aspect of it. So you get all the like you can go do anything in any order, but like in reality, you can doesn't mean you should. Like
I will say I bum rushed the Titans quest and I was able to do it.
on the other hand, I don't think I have it open anymore.
Like
I found
you can play the game in any order.
Correct.
It'll just be harder if you go into some of the other areas, which is fine. That's how they kind of gatekeep the game a little bit. But I was able to beat the last Titan raid at level 40 or 50 or whatever.
And it's what 55 is it?
It's like 55, yeah.
It's like,
and then I was able to go and do the gyms in whatever order I wanted because I had done all the Titans all the way through.
And say at that point though, like you're so much higher level than everything else, it doesn't really matter what order you do stuff.
I will tell you for free, I was not higher level than Grusha, the Ghost Gym, or the Psychic Gym.
And I don't know either.
I did the
speaking Spanish right now.
I did the Psychic Gym third. I went into that and I was 3 levels under.
Huh.
And I still won because I had a Cerulege and was able to just sweep. But that Psychic Gym's... You can get to that Psychic Gym fairly early. Because it's on the South Providence. It's all in that same area.
Yeah,
as the first gym.
I found this map on PokeJungle that has like the levels next to them, and therefore like it is numbered to do it in level progression order, which is how I'm going to do it.
Yeah.
So I beat the Bug Gym. I went and beat the Rock Titan. I've beaten the Grass Gym. So next on my list is the Flying Titan.
Huh. I'm surprised the Flying Titan is the next thing that's in order.
Yep. It's the level there is 19 as opposed to the Grass Gym, which was 17.
I definitely did the Titans out of order then.
What did you do?
So I did Cloth, the Rock Titan, and then I went and beat the Steel Titan. And then I went Earthworm.
Yeah, it's level 29.
I went and did the Ground Titan,
which is 45.
And then I did the Sky Titan,
which is 19.
And then I did Dondozo, the False Dragon Titan,
which is 55.
Yeah. And then I did Buggrass, Psychic, Electric, Water, Normal, Ice Ghost. for gyms. So all out of order.
So I'm trying to see the highest level gym. It looks like the highest gym is 45.
Yeah, I think the highest level gym is Grusha, which is 45. The Ghost Gym is around 40.
42.
Yep.
Nope, I lied. The Ice Gym is 47.
Yeah, the Ice Gym was the hardest one. I did that one 7th, thinking it was the 7th gym.
It is, in fact, the 8th gym.
It is, in fact, the 8th gym. It is the hardest gym.
Oops.
Oops, yeah. Actually, didn't really have a problem, but again, just like, oops. Out of order. Oh, well.
Yeah.
I tried to do what I thought was the order, and then, like I said, when I hit the Psychic Gym, I was like, oh, I've just messed this all sorts up. I'm like, God dang, they jumped really fast. What the heck happened here? And then I went and did Iono, and she's like 20. I'm just like, oh, that's because I'm out of order.
Something went very wrong.
I will say, I think the hardest thing next to the False Dragon Titan was the Fighting Star leader. Aerie is hard.
Fun fact, that's the highest level thing. That is the last thing I'm going to do. It is level 56.
I did the Fairy Star base last.
Which is 50. Did you do Titans and then gyms, then bases?
Yep. I did all the Titans, and then I did all the gyms, and then I did all the bases. And then I did the end team star fight, and then I did the end Arvin fight, and then I did the end Nimona fight, if I remember correctly.
I have to beat all the things to be able to get to the E4, right?
No.
Is it just the gyms?
Just the gyms.
Huh. See, I thought I had heard that you had to do...
No. You have to do all 3 things to get the last part of the story.
Yeah, you had to do everything to get Area 0.
Yeah, you have to do everything to get to the end.
Got it.
But to do the E4, all you gotta do, and eventually the end of Nimona fight, is you just need the 8 badges.
Got it. Now I'm following.
Okay.
So, do you want to get to, like, the meat of this episode?
Yeah, the reason we're all here, because it's tier list day. And because it's tier list day, we're covering all the new tier list mons. You won't see an old Pokemon on this list. You might see Pokemon that look like old Pokemon on this list, looking at you, Toedsacruel. But overall, we're just going to cover the fully evolved Pokemon from the new games, all the new stuff. I believe this is triple segment and double segment Dunsparce.
Yes, it is.
Okay, so we'll just probably talk about one. We'll just talk about one Dunsparce then.
There's no difference between the two, right? It's just
it's just a visual thing.
Hey, look at me! I got a 4.
Yeah,
it's just like Mousehold. The difference is.
Hey, look! I have an extra mouse. yeah. I figured we could start with
Mousehold.
Yeah, Mousehold's great.
It's 2 mice that got busy, man.
Yep. So I figured we could start with the actual starters and talk about them.
Yeah, sure.
I know Meowscarada looks cool. It has flower trick or whatever it is.
Yep. It also has access to protein.
Which they fixed protein, right? It's just a one-time.
It works once every time you switch in.
So it's not that great.
It is not nearly as busted as it once was. You don't get stab on every attack. You get stab on your first attack. Which, if your first attack is U-turn, then, well,
Yeah.
But yeah, it got heavily nerfed, and that being said, it does have a lot of really, really useful things working towards it. Notably, it has a base 123 speed, which is obviously very good. base 110 attack means it's going to hit like a truck, and if you are putting protein on this, which I'm assuming you are, then like your Terra type doesn't really matter because you're going to have stab on it regardless. But with 110 attack, you're able to hit things fairly hard. The problem is like your bulk's not great, 76, 70, 70. Like that's fine, right? Like it's middle of the road, mediocrely fine.
Yeah.
Which means you're going to get one shot. Meaning you probably need to be sash. So like you have access to like Sucker Punch, I believe. So you are able to really outpace things and just like hit things absurdly hard. So like if you are doing like Sucker Punch things, you are able to outpace Pokemon. So like you can be extra bulky. You get access to Trick, so you can run like Scarf. You get access to Skill Swap, which is really cool. You're one of the few Pokemon that get access to like Knockoff naturally. You get access to Ally Switch. This thing has a lot, and ultimately, end of the day, I think this is more of a singles Pokemon than it is a doubles Pokemon, just because of how frail it is. But like, if you look at the history with like Cinderace on the same page, this has a lot of things working for it that Cinderace also did.
Yeah.
So I guess I'm leaning towards like B, but I could see this being like A tier eventually. Like, depending on how the format falls, I could see this being an A tier Pokemon.
I'm the opposite direction. This is like C. This is like I went in and I changed the tiers so it's like they're defined on trying like what we're talking about. This thing is usable. Like you could use it, but you really have to like figure out the rest of your team around it in order to justify playing it.
Yeah, and I mean,
which is the C tier on this list.
Much like Cinderace, this doesn't go on every team. The teams it does go on, though, it's a critical part of it. So yeah, I would agree with that. It's probably better than that, and it will probably, when you play it, will feel better than that. But as of now, I'm fine putting this in C.
Like it needs a lot of help because, like you said, protein is now nerfed. It's a one-time thing. So if you're not constantly pivoting in and out with this thing to get resets, you're literally just stuck. You pick a type and you kind of are just stuck with it, or you have to waste your terror to change your type.
Yep.
And that's never a feel good thing.
Yep, agreed.
What's the crocodile's name? Skeledirge?
Skeledirge is absolutely hot.
I think this falls into like solid build around territory, right? Like
I legitimately, this feels like one I just slap on teams because I've played with it at this point. It's just like, yeah, this feels really good. I know how this plays, and like because I have experience playing it at this point, I feel very comfortable just slapping it on teams. And I kind of talked about this in the lettering video. It's just like, man, if I'm really suffering against Trick Room, Skeledirge kind of just helps with that. Just like, this is a slower Pokemon that really just lets me just go over the top of people. The attack Torch Song is absolutely absurd. The fact that it's a stab base 70 attack that also raises your special attack is insane.
Yeah.
And like you can play a multiple different sets with this. I know like Aaron has been playing like Hex plus Will-O-Wisp. I've played like Life Orb and like Shadow Ball. And like you can play this min speed. You are base 60 speed, but like you can play this min speed and really get under people with it, under Trick Room. Mm-hmm. Like if they are not expecting it, Skeledirge can really it's base 66, I lied. But like your bulk is really good with 104, 175.
Yeah.
You also have access to Unaware.
So you just get to ignore like stat boosts and...
Yeah, like you kind of just body like Dondozo because you have access to Unaware.
The downside is like you're having to hit it with a ghost move because Torch Song's not doing anything to Dondozo.
You also get Will-O-Wisp. You also get Yawn. And like depending on what Dondozo does in front of you, if it does like Terra, then you have access to like Torch Song if they tear into something that can actually hit it. You also have access to like Terra Blast. Terra Blast Grass is something I've played on this, and it felt really good because you're going to bring out your like Palafins to be able to beat up on this, and you just like swap your type, punch them really hard, and like KO them because you're at +1 because you Torch Songed on the way in.
Yeah.
I think Skeledirge is easy like A tier. I could be very wrong, and this could
you're gonna be sad because there's a lot of things above Skeledirge that are really good in this format, and so you're setting your bar up really high, so you're gonna end up with a very big S tier.
No, it's fine.
If you're setting this
I think it's very fair. Yeah,
I think this is solid build around mon. Like this is like you could put Trick Room next to this thing and it'll do its job. It's not a must play. There are some things that it just kind of lacks, I think, in my opinion. Like I've seen it and then I'm just like, oh, you're not doing anything to me. Bye.
I've also played Assault Vest, so you can like improve the 75 base defense. Like again, I'm getting really cute, but you have access to like Earth Power. You have Heat Wave. You get Shadow Ball. And then from there, it's a little more lackluster, but like it's probably just like Terra Blast plus whatever type you want.
Yeah, like I said, it's like this is a solid build around thing. Like you want a little bit of support to help it out because if this is the only thing you're doing on the field, then it's kind of a feel bad because you're not spread damage anything.
Oh man, I love the Dirge. This is good. This is gonna be a Pokemon I play a lot. I just know it is.
Quaquaval, the water bird. This thing has Moxie. There's potential here. Aqua Step's really cool because it just like it essentially lets you Scarf for base 80 power. Wave Crash is really good, so you can start to like do your sleep thing once you get like 1 or 2 Aqua Steps off and a Moxie boost, but it needs a lot of help.
We talked earlier about how like Trailblaze is really good, and this is just like 80 base power stab Trailblaze, right? So like, yeah, this is really cool. I've seen this next to like Amoonguss, and you're doing like bulk up strats. Personally, not really a fan of that because like your bulk is fine. It's 85, 80, 75. And like once you get like 2 bulk ups up, you're pretty bulky at that point, and you're gonna be able to hit for a ton. So then at that point, it's just like getting like bulk up Aqua Step. I think is really interesting, because then it's just like build your own Dragon Dance kind of.
Yeah, that's a lot to just do.
It is. That is a ton of work. Like instead of bulk up, you could just do like Sword Stance.
Like I just try. You just have to be in a position to where you are hitting it something for super effective damage with Aqua Step or whatever Terra Blast or whatever move you're using to get a Moxie boost, so you can keep going because you're not wanting to play Torrent on this thing.
Yeah, you like. That's the thing is you want to play Moxie, so you need to be able to one-shot things, and or not even like one-shot. You need to be able to
just need
effectively pick up KOs. Yeah, like this is the same thing that Gyarados was doing in the previous generations, right? Like, yeah, just one-shot things or be able to effectively deal damage to them in a way where they're going to be able to not recover.
The big difference is like Gyarados has really good coverage because it's a Gen 1 Pokemon, and
whereas
Quaquaval's
here we get like U-turn,
you get like
Ice Spinner, which is
Wave
really
Crash.
bad. I really wish Ice Spinner was just like Ice Punch.
I mean, Ice Spinner is base 80.
Yeah, but Ice Punch has a chance to freeze.
I think
that's literally the reason.
I think just like having the ability to remove terrain is also good in this format, just because there's the potential for shenanigans with all of the quark drives and things like that. So that can come up and be important, but it's also more damage than Ice Punch. Aren't the punches 75?
Yes, they are.
So yeah, so it's a little more base damage. But like I said, it falls in the same tier, I think, with Meowscarada. It's usable, but you're gonna have to have a lot of tools alongside Quaquaval to make it actually do something.
Yeah, I think this is something that like we're going to. I really want to play with like all three of the starters. The only one I have not played with Quaquaval yet, so like that is something I need to do. The other two I'm pretty familiar with at this point. Like especially like as we talked about with like Meowscarada, I have a lot of experience with it. I feel like that's pretty obvious with how long of a rant I went on with it.
Yeah.
And like how highly I praise Skeledirge is very obvious. I have a lot of experience with this. This one I haven't touched. I've played against it, and every time I have, they're doing like lefty setup stuff, and I one shot it.
Yeah.
It's like go away. You're not bulky enough to do this.
Exactly. Let's move on to the Lechonk Evos. Oinklown.
I don't know what this thing does.
Nothing. Good
All
talk.
right, cool. F.
Good talk. You can try to do something cute with the male Oinklown's lingering aroma. It's very mummy-esque, if I remember correctly.
Pokemon making contact with this Pokemon have their ability change to lingering aroma.
Yeah. So it's very mummy-esque, where it's just like, oh, this is going to get passed around pretty quickly if you touch me. So it kind of puts your opponent in a weird position who really care about their abilities, but don't use this thing.
You made Lechonk ugly, so I'm off it.
Just don't use it. Simple as that. Same thing goes with the female. The female even has an even worse ability.
Yeah.
So it's just like the really short end of the stick there.
Yeah. Get out of my lobby.
Yeah. The Dunsparce.
This thing's really cool. It has Hyper Drill.
Hyper Drill's cool. It's just you're not doing anything.
The fact that Hyper Drill like ignores Protect is obviously very good. You also have access to like Rattled. So let's see, Rattled plus. If you do Rattled plus Beat Up, you get to +4, which is really freaking fast if you're max speed.
Yeah, but then you're not invested into your bulk, what you want, or like you want to be invested into your bulk on this thing, right?
So 117
times 3.
Yeah, I'm trying to think if we do just like if we do 1.5 because we get like Sucker Punch ourselves, we get to 175, which isn't able to outspeed things. So we really need to get to +2.
You +2 puts you at 234,
which is a really good number.
You're still like anything with a scarf and at base 100 is outspeeding you.
Yeah, exactly. That's the thing.
And that's a common thing. That is a common thing to see right now.
Base 100 with scarf gets us to 250. I
So
only know that number off the top of my head because I was doing that math before we started.
Yeah, you're welcome. I just don't think the Dunsparce does enough.
You're probably correct.
Like, you have a really deep move pool. You got access to so many things.
I really wish they would have made this thing a special attacker. So you can actually abuse your special attack move pool and be able to do Serene Grace things. Even if they keep it at this base 55 speed, you've seen things like... I mean, the first one that comes to mind is... what's the normal dragon?
Drampa, yeah.
Like, Drampa I don't think has Serene Grace, right? But it is just like this slower... just this slower Pokemon that is able to do like good special attack things under Trick Room. It gets access to Berserk and like Cloud9, and both of those are very good abilities. Whereas the Dunsparce gets Serene Grace and Rattled, and it's not fast enough to abuse Serene Grace, and it's not slow enough to be a Trick Room sweeper. So it sucks. I want this thing to be good, and it's not.
Just don't use the Dunsparce right now.
Yep.
There might be a meta for it later, but it is not currently right now.
Yep, unfortunately.
What the heck is it Spidops? Is that this thing's name? Spidops?
You're on your own, man. Spidops has Insomnia and Stakeout.
Yeah, it's Spidops.
Let's see. 79 attack, 52 special attack, bulk is 60, 92, 86, speed of 35. Garbage.
Yeah, not very good.
Yep, F.
Low kicks.
Low kicks is sweet. We have tinted lens, so like our ability, like our attacks always are doing neutral damage to everything. Mm-hmm. We also have first impression, and we have a base attack of 102. That's it. That's it.
That's it. That doesn't seem like it's very good.
We also get Axe Kick, which is cool. It's a base 120 fighting move, with a 30% chance to confuse, but it also has the high jump kick recoil because it's 90% accurate. Because why would we get a good fighting move?
That is awful. Why would anybody want that?
We get Sucker Punch. We don't get close combat, which really sucks. Like, Axe Kick is the best fighting attack we get.
Goodness, that's rough.
It really is. But, like, we're also base 92 speed, so, like, put a Sash on this thing. Like, Sash Swarm is also just fine. But, like, Tinted Lens is probably just always better.
Yeah, I just don't see this thing actually being good.
It's not, but, like, it's really cool. It hits really hard once.
Yeah, once.
We really need to make sure you pick up a KO, but yeah.
I'm just like, this is like very low. Like, don't use this thing. Doesn't seem very good.
I think this is going to have a super, super minor niche, and someone's going to do something with it once, and people will be like, oh my god, low kicks is so good. And then it'll be fine. I'm looking forward to losing to this on laddering.
Robscara.
Bless you.
This thing has
I have no idea what this is.
It's Rabska. I put an extra A in there. Rabska. It's the evolved form of Relor.
I don't know what that is either.
It's the dung beetle.
I have lost to this thing.
So Rabska has synchronized and telepathy as abilities. It's base 75 HP, 85 defense, base 100 special defense, base 115 special attack. Has access to Revival Blessing, which is the new move that revives a teammate.
Oh, do all of those Pokemon that like level up through? No, it's just these two. Okay, so
it's just those two.
It's the Pokemon that level up through overworld stuff, like the overworld steps, and so like Palmot and this thing have access to it.
Yeah.
So I didn't know if it was all three of them that did it like that get access to it.
Just those two.
I don't know, man. Like 115 special attack's really good.
And like you got decent defenses to boot. You're a bug psychic type, so your typing isn't terrible.
It's interesting. Yeah, you have access to telepathy.
Which is really good.
You have stored power and skill swap.
Like you have access to like Power Gem, Shadow Ball.
But end of the
Weather
day,
Ball. That's a new one. Weather Ball's cool.
End of the day, you are still a bug type, so like I'm automatically downgrading this.
Well, that's the thing is like you got to think about the bugs in a different light because you don't ever stay as a bug type a lot of times.
Yeah.
Like you can change your. It also has Dazzling Gleam.
I can't remember what this did when I played against it. Was it
I
just
bet
like Calm Mind setting up?
Huh?
I think it was just like Calm Mind stored power.
Like I could see that being a thing. I think this thing just does better as just like I'm going to Revival Blessing. I have Recover. I have ways to just be annoying.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was
this
just
thing gets Trick Room. Like you can set Trick Room with this thing.
I think it was just like Trick Room plus Calm Mind, Recover, stored power. But that I don't know.
Like I could see the set being like Struggle Bug,
Struggle Booge?
Yeah, you could do like Speed Swap. You have Revival Blessing to be really powerful. You have access to Power Swap. You have access to Imprison to deny Trick Room if you want to do that. There's a lot that this thing can do. Is it really good? No, not really. But it's better than like Oinkalone.
Oh, that's what it was. I was playing Dondozo and this thing went for Power Swap on me.
Oh.
Yeah, it power swapped into stored power.
I want to see this thing shiny.
Actually, I don't know.
I don't know what the shiny is.
According to Showdown, it doesn't change. So
I don't. That can't be right.
Let's go on the old Cerebi and see what it says.
I need to see this thing shiny.
What is this thing called?
Oh, it turns gold.
Oh, that's pretty.
That's awesome.
I thought you meant the dung beetle part. The dung part changed, but
the beetle part changes to gold. That's pretty.
That's cool. It is cool.
Reller's shiny. The ball turns gold.
Yes.
That's kind of cool. That's a good shiny. I like that.
I approve. All right, where are we throwing this thing?
Probably usable C tier.
Yeah,
like
sure.
You could use it, and it needs a lot of support around it, but it'll do its job if you get it to the right spot. Houndstone. I love this thing.
Well, it's already banned in OU.
I was about to say, it's banned in OU because Last Respects is weird.
I mean, it's a good attack.
Yeah, it's good for like specifically singles.
But like in this, it's gonna be
singles.
It's gonna be max power of 200. Sand Rush is very good. Fluffy is also very good. Two very good abilities. With Sand Rush, you get to a really good speed.
You're base 68, so you're decent speed for being able to go to +2.
264.
Yeah.
So you outspeed all the 100s with Scarf.
Yep.
And last time I checked, Tyranitar's a really good Pokemon. So
yeah, it's just like that's another big thing there, right? Like Houndstone is a ghost type, Tyranitar's with the fighting. You just get to have that nice synergy there. It's not like super strong by itself, but it's a good build around Pokemon. And that's kind of why I changed it from S, A, B, C, D to this kind of setup where it's a good build around, or it's just very strong by itself, or when we get to Annihilate, that thing's freaking gross, it's busted, fix it.
This also gets Ally Switch.
Yeah. Which Ally Switch isn't that great anymore. Like
next to Tyranitar, you're gonna get your opponent once.
Yeah, you'll get him one time, and that's all that's gonna matter.
You also get Bulldoze to proc your Tyranitar's policy.
If that's something you're interested in.
The downside is it's coming off a base 101 attack.
Yeah.
So, be weary, because it's gonna hurt.
Yep. You also get Will-O-Wisp and Yawn.
You also get Phantom Force. This
you
thing's
also get
really
a Helping
good.
Hand. God
this
dang.
thing's very good.
Yeah, this is a solid build one.
This is everything that the other dog.
Which
Gen
other
5.
dog? Gen 5? Goodness, you just I don't know where you're going.
Stoutland. This is everything Stoutland wants to be, man.
Oh yeah,
it has a really good type. Like ghost types are just awesome. Yeah, this is sick.
Yeah, this is probably solid build around, or just like on the cusp of very strong. It does, like I said, it does kind of need that T-Tar support to be with it to kind of do its thing.
I mean,
You could play if you're playing Fluffy, you're just adding a weakness, kind of, and that's not great because you don't like. I don't know. It's like Fluffy's cool, but the Sand Rush is what makes it good.
Very true. Very true. And then like you can terror this into a rock type, so you get a defense boost in Sandstorm.
Yeah,
This is sick.
it's such a good Pokemon.
Agreed.
It's a very good design. Sand Rush, like you would not think Houndstone got Sand Rush as an ability.
No, not
That's
at all.
really that's the really cool part. Espartha.
Is this the ostrich?
This is the ostrich.
This thing's really cool. Opportunist is a really, really awesome ability. When an opposing Pokemon raises its stats, this Pokemon gets the same boosts. I believe this is supposed to work against Dondozo. I cannot confirm that.
Currently on Showdown, it doesn't work. We'd have to check on Cart.
I know stuff like Baxcalibur it works against because that's an ability triggering that happens off of an attack. It doesn't work against like Photosynthesis or Quark Drive because those aren't actual stat boosts. But notably, this is only boosts. So like close combat from your opponent isn't going to drop your defenses.
Mm-hmm.
So that's really awesome. So against like Quaquaval, you're gonna get your own Moxie boosts.
Yeah,
this thing's cool.
this
Opportunist
is
is a very good ability
that carried me through the team Star fighting fight because they kept boosting their stats with their Pokemon, and Espartha just kept copying them. I eventually had like a +6 defense, +6 attack, +2 special attack Espartha when it was all said and done.
You also get speed boost and frisk.
Like all of your abilities are good.
3 really good abilities.
Yeah.
You also get baton pass.
Yeah, which works well with Opportunist.
You get Lumina Crush, which is Lumina Crash, which is just absolutely absurd.
I believe Lumina Crash is the signature move for Espartha.
I believe so, yeah. So it's a psychic. It is a special psychic attack with base 80 power that has a 100% chance to lower your opponent's special defense by 2. This is absurd.
Which means the next one's going to do more, and then the next one's going to do more.
Yeah, it's
and
insane.
It snowballs. Again, very good, solid build around Pokemon. Your speed is what, like base 105? That's pretty good. Your defenses are kind of scary. Like you just don't want to take a hit.
Just run Sash, you'll be fine.
Like you don't like seeing like fake out Sucker Punch or like.
Oh yeah, Sucker Punch bodies you, but
like you get bodied by a Sucker Punch from any Dark type, or anything with a decent attack stat.
The fact that you're
everything's
able
running
to...
U-turn too, so it's just like if you're not outspeeding them, most of the time these U-turn Pokemon have Scarf. And so if you're getting hit by U-turn, you might just go down.
The fact that you can partner this with like Chi-Yu and really punish your opponent is just absurd. Oh goodness,
yeah. Like
Lumina crash into something into like Heat Wave.
Yeah, we'll get to Chi-Yu and the other ruinous Pokemon here in a little bit. And they are, a lot of them are very good. But yeah, I think Espartha again hits that solid B tier, solid build around, really good Pokemon that we want to see. Like, it'll do well in certain situations. Does it have Trick Room and Imprison?
It's a psychic type, so I'm assuming
it's got Trick Room. I don't think it has Imprison.
It does not get Imprison, but it does get Trick Room.
It gets Hypnosis. That's a fast Hypnosis.
I do enjoy me a good Hypnosis.
You also have Baby Doll Eyes. That's kind of cool.
Yeah, this thing's sick. I'm
This
a fan.
thing's really cool. Where were we? Farigarath. Rigarath.
Iron Tail. What's the attack? Shed Tail. What's its ability?
Armor Tail.
Armor Tail. Really good ability. It like single-handedly shuts down Grimmsnarl and like any other prankster type.
Yeah. Has access to Trick Room. Has access to all the fun psychic things you would think a psychic type would get access to.
Also base 60 speed, so like it's fine under Trick Room.
Yeah. That's where I see it most of the time. Is it's setting the Trick Room because itself is protected from fake out. It's like being a ghost type, but you don't have to worry about anything.
Yep, it's really good. 70/70 on your defenses, 120 HP, 110 special attack as well. I've seen this thing as like bulky Trick Room setter that has access to like screens. You get Thunder Wave for like extra speed control if you don't want to set Trick Room.
This thing can do beat up stuff for you.
I did not know that. All right, well, this thing's cool.
Yeah, this is again probably a solid B tier, almost A tier. I'd probably put it up there with Houndstone. It could be in either spot probably.
Yeah, I like this. And more importantly, this means that Giraffary gets access to.
Yeah, Giraffrig's gonna be nuts for D-Pack.
The problem is it doesn't get Armor Tail, which sucks.
No, but its move pool being a little deeper is better for it.
I believe this is also automatically banned from D-Pack, so...
Well, that's unfortunate.
Because I believe all the Gen 2 Pokemon that got an evolution are banned because they just are over the, like, base stat total.
Well, that's unfortunate.
Yeah.
It's their restricted tier. They'll be fine.
It really is. Like, that they ran a format during the restricted formats where they had, like, you can play, like, one of these.
Sure.
It was cool, so I'm excited to see that be expanded.
Wug Trio.
I have no idea what anything does.
It's not very good.
We get Gooey, Rattled, and Sandvale. 120 speed, 100 attack. We're a water type. Do we do anything cool? Liquidation, Sucker Punch, Chilling Water, which we kind of talked about. We get Foul Play, which I don't know why we would want to Foul Play when we have a base 100 attack.
The problem is you have base 35 HP.
I'm gonna go ahead and throw this in the useless tier.
I feel like you could die to fake out.
You do get Bulldoze, which is the best thing I've seen this thing do.
Again,
Toss it.
It's just not very good.
Yep, toss it.
Dondozo.
Bonkers.
I would call Dondozo very strong. The reason this is very strong is because while it still has really good base stats on its own, you have to have the Tatsugiri to go with it. That's what makes it bonkers.
Yeah, Dondozo on its own is like fine. That's the thing. It's like it's fine. But with Tatsugiri, it goes into that tier of like bananas. Your opponent needs to have an answer for it, or you win.
I would just put Dondozo and all the Tatsugiri next to each other for right now. Because these
like,
two are a pair.
Yep, this thing's absurd. I love this thing. It's a very good Trick Room sweeper with like base 100 attack, base 115 defenses. Like if you ever get it next to Tatsugiri, it's just fine. It plays a lot like how Colossal is felt in Gen 8. Where when it gets to do its thing, it's very good. Yeah.
Yeah, it's very similar to Cole.
And like you have 3 very, very good abilities in Unaware, Oblivious, and Water Veil. So like being immune to Intimidate's good. Being able to not be burnt is also very good. Unaware means that like your opponent can't set up on you. Like Unaware plus Lefties is what I've been playing. I could see like Lumberry also being very good. This thing's absurd. It's currently my favorite Pokemon to play with.
Yeah, it is. It is very strong. Um, just for reference, so people are understand like what types of gear you do here. The orange one is an attack boost with order up. The yellow one is a speed boost with order up, and I believe the pink one is a defense boost with order up.
The pink one is much worse. Actually, I think it's yellow one that's defense boost.
I don't know. It in my head, it's like straight one is speed, droopy one is defense, curl one is attack. Right? Like that's kind of like in my head how it worked, but I'm not sure.
Give me half a second, I can tell you. Orange is...
I know orange is attack. Orange is attack. I know that one.
Pink is defense, so yellow is... pink is speed, I'm sorry.
So yellow is defense. So... Yep.
Pink is worse than the other two.
Yeah. Like...
You have a base 115 defense. You don't need defense boost, especially when you already have +2.
Yeah.
You're going to get crit regardless. Like you're going to lose to a crit. Just don't
worry about it.
Yeah, you're fine.
Moving on. Veluza.
Bless you.
This is the water psychic spiky fish.
How do you spell that?
Veluza. Veluza.
How?
VEL UZA. Veluza.
Oh, I thought you said B as in boy.
No, it's V as in vacuum.
All right, mold breaker, sharpness, base stats of 90, 102, 73, 78, 65, 70. I've never seen this before in my life.
So it's a Pokemon that's up in the north part of the map.
Mm-hmm.
And it's kind of just like, here's the sharpness ability, here's slicing attack gimmick. What they didn't tell you is that its signature move, Fillet Away, it's instead of losing 50% and getting a +2 to attack, special attack, and speed, you lose 75% to get a boost to +2 attack, +2 special attack, +2 speed.
Because it's considered a sharpness move?
Yep, because it is considered a slicing move.
I feel like that's unintentional.
I don't know. You have base 90 HP so with Final Gambit, so there's an option of something there if you're like really interested in doing something with that. But overall, this thing just does not feel good. Ever.
Yeah, this feels really bad. Like Aqua Cutter seems cool. Chilling Water's obviously very good.
Yeah, that's about it. Congratulations,
Psycho
you figured out.
Cut.
You figured out Veluza. Merry Christmas.
You get Snowscape. Am I reaching the bottom of the barrel yet?
Oh, you reached the bottom of the barrel a while ago.
All right, cool. I'm off it.
Palafin.
Palafin is absolutely S tier. This thing is absolutely bananas. I'm going to be very blunt about this. This is absolutely bananas. Please play this Pokemon.
For those that don't know how this works, 0 to Hero is the ability. When you send Palafin out the first time, it's the cute little dolphin form. And when you switch Palafin out and bring it back in, it goes into Hero mode.
Which when you do so, you get plus 90 to your attack.
Yeah, you get a bunch of attack, a bunch of extra stats.
You get everything except for speed and HP. You go from 457 to 650. I've talked about Palafin a lot. I have a laddering video up on the channel with it already. Palafin is absolutely insane. Please go play it.
Yep.
Yeah, that's literally the simplest way to put it. If you need a water type on your team, play Palafin. That's the solution.
I'm going to knock out a couple Pokemon here. I don't need a whole lot of explanation. Arbolivia.
Is that the great grass normal type?
Yeah. Like
it gets Seed Sower, which is a really cool ability.
It's got really good special defense. It's got Seed Sower's ability. It's in that usable tier, but needs a lot of help.
Mm-hmm.
Belly Bolt, kind of the same thing, I think. It's like you can do stuff with it, but it's hard to do stuff with it.
I have not seen it once. It looks absolutely adorable, but that's about it.
There's a strat you can use with Electromorphosis and Weakness Policy and Bulldoze under Trick Room.
Electromorphosis is such a sick ability name. I'm just throwing that out there.
So you become charged, Weakness Policy activates, you go to +2. This is like the Weakness Policy Pokemon of the gen.
Do we get Discharge?
Yes,
do.
You do. And that's what you do. You do you essentially, instead of Disc Quake, it's like Bulldoze Discharge after Trick Room goes up, and you just spam Discharge until the end time.
Alright, who's the slowest? How slow are we? 45.
Base 45.
So we need to be slower than 45.
That's not hard to do in this game.
Let's see. We have Crabominable at 43. Oh, I should probably also be a ground type so I can be immune.
I mean, you can Terra your ground type.
That's also true. But just in case. Oh, we have Gastrodon. Cool. Yeah. Nailed it. Ta-da! We broke the format.
Hooray! But yeah, like, that's kind of what it does. It needs a lot of help, but it'll do it.
Clodsire also exists.
Yeah. Reveroom, not very good. This thing is...
I haven't seen it once. That should tell you everything.
Spin Out is really cool.
It gets Overcoat, it gets Filter, both of which are very good abilities.
It's just, it doesn't do anything. It doesn't get to do anything with them.
Lowers his user speed by 2 for a base 100 steel type attack. That seems really bad.
I've seen people just like slap this onto like Trick Room teams, and they just click Spin Out until their Reveroom goes down.
You also do get Haze and Iron Defense, which is cool. You get Parting Shot. How? Whatever. Yeah. It's probably like fine.
Yeah, it's just not very.
It's good outside of Trick Room, and then once you get like a Spin Out up, it's probably good under Trick Room.
I want to talk about Scovillain.
Bless you.
Scovillain is amazing.
Is this the Grass Fire type?
It is. So Scovillain has a signature move called Spicy Extract.
Hold on.
Spicy Extract gives the target +2 attack, -2 defense. You also have Chlorophyll.
Uh-huh.
So you're base 75, which means you get to
139 at max speed, so you get to 278.
Yeah.
Which is really absurdly fast.
Yep. And you could also pair this alongside any kind of mirror herb and copy the attack boost.
And just swagger yourself, essentially.
Essentially, but you also are putting the opponent at -2 defense.
Which I think is also very relevant.
And you just get to body them with whatever physical attack. Swagger is not very
useful as an offensive tactic, whereas this is like fake tears.
Yeah.
But like you can also use it offensively.
Exactly.
Yeah, this is cool.
This is a solid Pokemon. Also, Fire Grass is a really good typing.
Leech Seed, Flamethrower, Energy Ball, Overheat, Rage Powder, Will-O-Wisp.
Yeah.
Just like all the good stuff that grass types get, all the good stuff that fire types get. Combined. And you get Moody, which is absurd.
Yeah.
As the current Octillery player in RTT, Moody's really good.
But yeah, Scovillain is, I think, currently being slept on. I think this Pokemon's really good.
It's cool. I will give it that.
It'll make its way up. Orthoworm, it's got really cool ability. I just don't think it's very good. Its base stats are on the low side.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like
The fact that you can pair this next to like an Earthquaker and be able to get your Earth Eater ability up is cool.
the big problem is like you just don't have any moves.
No, you don't do anything. You have Coil as your best attack.
Like you have Body Press and Iron Defense and Helping Hand, but
Which like Iron Defense off a like uninvested 145 defense is already by itself good.
it's just like you really kind of want to like do something with this thing, and you're not really able to do anything with it. It's really cool. It's really cool, and it's gonna have a niche somewhere.
You get Coil Rock Slide, which is cool.
Like it's gonna have a niche somewhere. It's just it's gonna take a while for this thing to actually become a Pokemon.
Yeah, once we get the DLC and we get Landorus, you're able to pair this with Landorus and just like,
And it might have a use then. But right now, there's just no good like way to do like Earthquake spam and not get super punished for it.
yeah, I'm kind of off it.
Mousehold. This thing is nuts.
I love it. Mousehold is probably my third favorite Pokemon to play with right now.
If you haven't played with Population Bomb with Wide Lens,
It's
do
absurd.
it for your sanity. Just do it.
Even like if you want to take it a step further, play King's Rock and really just torture your opponent. You're gonna miss more, but by God, when you flinch them, it's gonna be the best part of your day.
Yep. Titan.
So Titan's really cool. I haven't quite nailed down like it plus like Slowking yet, but I still think there's something there.
I think with your base 73 speed, Slush Rush is probably the better ability, but if
Agreed.
you're not wanting to worry about your like getting Snowscape up, this thing is just a fine sheer force user.
Yeah.
Like, oh, hey, 10% chance, there's a chance to freeze on this move? Ha! Forget about
Crash
it.
is just now absurd.
Like, I'm gonna just body you. Don't mind me. You have access to Heavy Slam, which is really good. You have access to Bulldoze if you need that. You're another Body Press Pokemon. Yawn is really good. You have access to Play Rough, which
Yeah, if we're doing like sheer force stuff, we get Icicle Crash, Play Rough,
Liquidation.
Oh, we get Liquidation?
Yep.
That's
You have
just
access
really
to
good.
Belly Drum.
Yep. Yep.
Entrainment, so you can send your ability someplace else.
And we can protect, yeah. Like Slush Rush is good. Thick Fat is like fine. Thick Fat's kind of whatever.
I think
Sheer
Slush Rush
Force
is the one
very
you'd
good.
want to entrainment if you're going to do that to somebody.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Um,
It's fine. It's fine.
Like, granted, it is an ice type, so it's like its defenses are garbage. But it also makes up for that because it's got a base 170 HP.
Yep.
So this is like the one situation where it feels almost Glastrier-esque, but not quite that bad. It's a good Pokemon.
Yeah, agreed. This thing's
It's
really cool.
It's a good build around.
It's really, really cool.
Baxcalibur.
I don't think this one's very good.
That's what I was about to say. I was like, I don't think Baxcalibur is good.
The fact that Thermal Exchange doesn't give you a fire immunity is the stupidest thing I've ever heard.
Yeah.
Because here's the thing. You can still be burnt.
No, you can't.
Yes, you can't. Oh, hold on. Reading is hard.
Yeah. You don't have fire immunity, you just can't be burned.
So, like, does Will-O-Wisp boost this?
Yes, it does.
So you can pair this with, like, Sableye and go for, like, Self Will-O-Wisp to get, like, +1 attack. That seems really bad.
Yeah, it's not that great. Plus, like, your super strong whatever move that you want to play, Glaive Rush, means you take double damage next turn. So you have to, like, play it with redirection, and, like, you get to use it once, and then...
Off it.
Now, granted, it's not like other big 120 moves where it's just like a recharge turn, right? You still get to attack, so if you manage to get set up, you're fine. but there's a big downside to what Baxcalibur is doing. And that's kind of why it's in the usable but needs a lot of help tier.
Man, imagine a world where we get Dragapult and then we get this.
Fun fact, this thing gets Ice Shard, so it might be able to actually just, like, blow up Dragapult.
Yeah. I don't like it.
Cyclizar.
Cyclizar's busted.
I don't know about busted. It's good. I don't know about busted.
The fact that this gets access to Regenerator is stupid. I genuinely don't know why they get this Regenerator.
It's because Shedtail takes half your HP.
So you just Citrus Berry, Regenerator, Shedtail, but you're back to full HP.
Yeah, for the most part.
It's not quite, right? Yes, it is.
It'd be full HP because you would Shedtail, and then you would eat your citrus, and then you would hop out, and then you would Regenerator.
Would you eat your citrus? It's mid-turn.
Ow.
I actually don't know. That's an Aaron question. I know he's been playing with Cyclizar quite a bit. But getting a free substitute and a switch is really good.
Yeah. I will say this thing's really fast. Like, you're base 121, so you're hitting 190 at max speed. Shedtail's really good. You have access to Breaking Swipe, so you get to be this really cool utility Pokemon. But that's about all you're doing, unfortunately.
I was looking to see if we got access to Dragon Dance, which we don't. But it's fine because instead we get access to Shift Gear.
Yeah. You get to do Shift Gear things. Because
That's
you're a
so
bike.
Cool.
But yeah, like, this thing has really good utility, but outside of the utility, it just doesn't do anything. It's not a build-around Pokemon. It's a... I need this thing to do this job, and this Pokemon just happens to be here that does it, and I like it. The good news is it's Dragon Normal type, so it's a decent typing.
It is. It's really cool.
It's better than Mono Dragon. Like, if you're gonna do something, like, I'll take an immunity and an extra weakness. That's fine.
Yeah, it's cool.
Palmot.
Alright, so here's the thing. I think this thing's really good. You get Revival Blessing, which I think is really good. You get Double Shock, is that what it's called?
Yeah.
Which is just like...
removes your electric typing.
Yeah, it's Burn Up, but electric type. You get Close Combat, you get Fake Out, you get Encore, you get Thunder Wave, you get Volt Switch, you get Mach Punch, and all of this is coming off a base 115 attack and a 105 speed. You also have access to Volt Absorb, and if you want to be really offensive, Iron Fist.
Neat.
I think this thing's really good.
I would put it in the solid build-around tier.
This is the first Pokemon I built a team around, only for Showdown to be like, actually, Revival Blessing isn't working.
Yeah. Kilowattrel.
This thing's probably the best the best Tailwind setter right now.
Is it?
It's really good.
It's good. I don't know if it's the best, because you gotta remember, like, things like Scizor got Tailwind. There's a lot of Pokemon with Tailwind now.
That is true.
Like, Tailwind is not as exclusive as it used to be.
Let me rephrase then. This thing hits really hard once you get Tailwind up.
For the turn that Tailwind goes up. It's not through Tailwind. It's for the turn that it activates.
Correct.
So it's it is a set up Tailwind, Volt Switch the heck out of there, bop somebody, so you can come back and do it again later. Yeah, like, it's very strong. It's I don't know if it's like should be B tier. It's above C, I think. It's like, I don't think it's like A tier Pokemon.
It's fine. I
You got really good base speed, you got really good special attack. It's just you can't take a hit to save your life, so you're really trying to dodge getting hit. You have competitive, which is really good, but then you're not abusing wind power, so it's just like, what are you doing?
it depends on how popular like Intimidate is. I think is the deterministic of what ability you want to run.
Bombardier, whatever its name is, get out of here.
It's not good, right?
It's very mid.
Big Pex is useless. Keen Eye is useless. Rocky Payload gives you rock stabs, so you essentially have 3 stabs, which then with Terra typing gives you 4 stabs. Carl, we're just we're the quintessential assault vest holder.
You're
we get stab on everything.
Flying Dark Delmise.
I'm not impressed with this.
It's not very good.
Alright, cool. Off it.
Squawkabilly. No one's playing this thing.
One of them gets Intimidate.
Well, they all get Intimidate. One set gets Guts, one set gets Sheer Force. The problem is you're just not got the base stats to keep up. You're like base 417, which is not very good.
That's really freaking bad. You know what I really like? When my Intimidate user has to be a focus sash holder.
It does get access to Parting Shot and Intimidate, which is really cool. But
there's just better like Parting Shot users.
This is a good example of what a draft league Pokemon is.
Yeah.
Like this is like Squawkabilly is a very good draft league Pokemon, but not a very good VGC Pokemon.
Yeah, I don't think it's very good. We can ship it.
Flamigo.
Co-Star's cool.
Co-Star's cool. That's the meme. It's the meme thing, right? Like Co-Star's cool. Scrappy's cool. It's got a decent attack stat, if I remember right.
This has like S tier meme potential.
Like your base 90 speed, your base 115 attack, your defenses are mid. You have access to close combat, which is really good. You have access to liquidation, throat chop, U-turn, wide guard, swords dance, chilling water. I guess because this thing is a flamingo, they're just like, let's just give it all these random water type attacks.
But also, it's a fighting type.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Overall, I think this thing's just like, you could do stuff with it. Like, we see people do stuff with Co-Star all the time. It's just not very good.
Yep, off it.
Like, outside of its one thing with Co-Star and Dodonzo, that's it.
Which, like, Dodonzo's just good on its own. Don't play bad stuff to make your good stuff better.
Yeah. Cloth isn't very good.
Yep. It doesn't do anything.
Garganical. Garganical?
Is this a salt pile?
Yes, the salt rock. This thing's a monster.
This thing's very good. Purifying salt is bananas.
Purifying salt plus salt cure plus you have access to recover, iron defense. Like, your set is going to be known to everyone. But there's still not much they can do about it. And that's the best part.
This is another Pokemon I want to play with because I haven't played with it.
Garganical is amazing.
I have a Nactly on my team currently. I'm just like, oh, you're going to be so good here in a while.
Yeah. You just have to get there.
But man, when you do...
Yeah. Glimora? Is that its name?
Is it the toxic debris?
The weird flower thing? Yeah.
So toxic debris is really cool because it says toxic spikes. You get hit once, it triggers, and then you go down to your stash, and then you get hit again, and now they're gonna get toxic every time they switch in. It's not very good because steel types are very good.
Yeah. Who knew? You do have access to like really deep coverage, like Dazzling Gleam, Earth Power, Energy Ball. This is like a Pokemon they wanted to have like really deep coverage because it does, and like it gets to abuse the fact that it has really deep coverage with that base 130 special attack. Your base 86 speed, so you're fairly fast. It's just you're a rock poison type. It's Nihilego, but not that great.
Yep.
You could probably build around it, but that's about it.
I don't even know if you would want to.
Grafai. This thing's cool. It's a Prankstermon.
It's like my second favorite prankster Pokemon. Probably third. It goes Grimmsnarl, Murkrow, then this.
I think it's got potential. I think it's cool.
Yeah,
you have Doodle, which is really neat. It's
Doodle is really cool.
I'm gonna change your ability. Don't mind me.
Doesn't Doodle change your ability? Yeah, it changes yours and your ally's ability.
Yeah. To whatever.
Don't worry, I'm working on the meme. It's gonna be great.
He's working on it. It'll be here soon.
It'll probably be laddering next week.
Dog number 2.
Dachshund? This thing's absurd. You pair this with Torkoal, and then you click Lava Plume. And then you click Body Press.
Yeah, like this thing has what I've been calling reverse Fluffy. You have to be hit by the fire type attack to get your defense boosts instead of being weak to fire for getting your defense boosts. It's really cool.
Very, very good.
Mabostiff.
This one I don't know.
This one, this is the Intimidator. It also has the immunity to Intimidate with Guard Dog.
So it's immune to Intimidate, but if it gets Intimidated, it gets +1. So it's essentially... like,
Defiant.
It's Defiant that can't be, like...
It's Defiant that only It's Defiant that only triggers off of Intimidate.
Damn, I would rather have Intimidate.
Intimidate's the reason you're playing Mabostiff.
120 attack's good. Your bulk's good at 80, 90, 70.
The other part of Guard
speed.
Dog is you can't be switched out. You cannot be forced out. You have the move Lockjaw. So yes. You get to pick somebody and you get to keep them in. Forever.
Like, you're not going anywhere.
Like, if
sounds
someone's...
like a Destiny bond. Hold on.
Yeah, this thing has a really cool move pool. You get Endeavor, which means that, like, Sash Mabostiff is just like, haha, getcha. You have Helping Hand. Like, your move pool is super deep.
Yeah, I currently have Mashstiff on my team because I think he's adorable. And now, this thing's cool.
You have I think this is the signature move for Mabostiff, which is called Comeuppance. It's like Counter and Mirror Coat had a baby, and it's dark type.
Isn't this just Mirror Shot or whatever it's called?
I thought Mirror Shot was had a base power. It's not even in the game.
What's the one I'm thinking of?
I don't know. Mirror Coat is the one that returns special attacks. Counter is the one that returns physical attacks. This one returns all of them.
There's another one that returns all of them. And it's a steel type attack, I think.
Oh.
I'll do some digging.
If it's not mirror, it's because it's not Mirror Shot. It's not in the game. Not anymore, anyway. But like, there's a lot of things that Mabostiff gets to do. I call this thing like dark. It's just Dark Arcanine. You have Snarl, you have Intimidate, you get to do your thing. You're decently bulky. You have a really good attack stat. Like, this thing can do a lot. It's all the dogs are really good. I think it goes Ghost Dog, Dark Dog, Fairy Dog in order of, like, how good they are, in my opinion, though. We're almost to the end here, to the fun stuff. We have whatever the evolved Bramble thing is.
Bramblegast?
Is that its name? I don't know its name. Yeah, it's Bramblegast, Wind Rider.
Wind Rider's really cool. It gets a +1 to attack whenever you set Tailwind, or if hit by a wind move and you're immune to them. So I believe Tim has been working on stuff with this on Discord. I believe he said Sandstorm triggers it, which is really cool.
Yeah, Sandstorm is considered a wind move.
You also get like your base 90 speed, base 115 attack, and you get access to Phantom Force.
Yeah.
You get Power Whip and or Seed Bomb. You get Shadow Sneak. You get Strength Sap. This thing's really cool. It's just like hyper offense to the Mon.
Yeah. Needs a lot of help. Again, kind of falls into that usable but needs help tier. Goldengo. This thing is nuts.
Goldengo is absolutely absurd, and just like Palafin, this can go on any team and it's good.
There are definitely teams that Goldengo is better on than others.
I will, yes, like obviously.
Like Goldengo definitely like needs a little bit of help because you can't just sit there and spam Make It Rain.
3 Make It Rains is still more powerful than 3 Flash Cannons.
Well, yeah.
Which is just absurd.
The problem is it's just like
before that's before you encounter the fact that it's like a spread move and you're damaging both of them.
The problem with this is it's just like it is a spread move and it's probably the only thing you're really going to be doing. And if your opponent resists steel and is
go Terra Steel and really force the issue.
Yeah, you just pray that they just don't body you.
Which like I've been playing with like AV on this thing. Goldengo's really good. It takes your base 91 special defense absurdly high. You have a base 133 attack. You're immune to all status moves. Just like status moves. Nice sport, idiot.
So you can't use actual like status moves on it at all. Ally Switch also fails.
When used next to it?
Yeah.
Okay, I did not know that one. That's good to know.
Because you can't target it.
Huh. Okay. I didn't... Yeah, I mean, that makes sense when you say it like that, but that's not something I ever have thought about.
Yeah.
Yeah, this thing's really, really, really good.
Let's get Tinkaton in here.
Tinkaton is also absolutely absurd. I love it.
I don't know about it. I don't. You might want to call that one back. Tinkaton's good. I don't know about absolutely absurd.
I love Tinkaton. I would die for this thing.
Like, it's decent, but you're not the offensive Fairy Steel type that you want to be.
Carl, have you considered though Giant Hammer?
Yeah, it's not enough.
Carl, I think you misinterpreted what I said. It has a giant hammer. Look how adorable it is.
This thing it needs help. It needs something.
Yeah, it has own tempo, so you can't be intimidated, and then you hit them with knockoffs to take away their item, and then you Gigaton hammer them, and then they're dead.
That's not how that works, unfortunately.
It really is, man. You'd be surprised.
Like, we don't base 75 attack, like it's not very good.
You'd be surprised.
I mean, Gigaton Hammer is great. You're using it once every turn, like every 2 turns. So it just isn't that great. Like, in the world of Chi-Yus, Torkoals, and everything else, this thing is a liability more than it's a helpful thing.
Which is why you Terra Fairy. You get rid of your steel typing. And now suddenly you go into a type that resists fire.
Fairy doesn't resist fire.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You go into something that does, though.
But the problem then is it's just like, you're not hitting them as hard as they're hitting you still.
Do we get...
You get Bulldoze.
We get Terra Blast. I have perfect coverage.
Yeah, like every Pokemon has perfect coverage now.
Yeah. Stone Edge is good. I've been playing Assault Vest. You could also play like with own tempo. You can do like swagger stuff as well. And then your attack stat doesn't matter because it's ×2. It just punches really hard.
Yeah, I just don't think Tinkaton's that great.
I love this thing.
It's a cool Pokemon. I love the design. I just don't think it's that great for VGC.
Oh, I think it's fantastic.
It just doesn't do enough.
This is one hill I'm willing to die on. I love Tinkaton.
I just don't think it does enough. I will use it
as much as I possibly can. You know, it gets fake out too, right?
Yeah, it gets fake out.
Oh, I love this thing.
I just don't think it does enough.
My life goal now is to prove you wrong. I'm going to make you
Armarouge and Cerulege. We're going to talk about these two together. One is very much better than the other.
All right, talk me through it.
Armarouge gets access to Expanding Force.
I mean, yeah.
Also base 130 special attack.
Also Flash Fire.
Like, this thing hits like a truck.
It's base 125.
Whatever. It still hits like a truck. Because they put Indeedee in the game, this thing gets a free setup for its terrain, and it just gets to spread that 125 constantly.
Also gets Trick Room.
You also have Armor Cannon, which is just like base 120 fire move, blow you up.
It's just fire special close combat.
What's the shiny for Armarouge look like?
I don't know. According to Cerebi, no difference.
The eyes change colors.
Oh. That's really freaking lame. They could have done so much more with this shiny.
Same with Cerulege. The eyes change colors.
Yep, I'm off it. Lame.
I feel like this
both
game's
of these Pokemon are
shinies, the shinies in this Pokemon all like in this game just aren't that great. There's some good ones, but
I haven't found any that I'm in love with yet.
Rabsca's was really good.
I mean, it's just like fine.
The problem with Cerulege is just like you don't have any kind of real big help. Like you're not fast like we thought it would be. It's just base 85.
Mm-hmm.
So you really just like need a lot of just like extra push to do stuff with Cerulege, whereas just like Armarouge it's a solid build around because you throw Psychic Terrain next to it with Indeedee, you have Follow Me, you're protected from Ghost type attacks, and you just get to sit there and click Expanding Force over and over and over. Armarouge definitely is the winner of the two split forms here.
For the record, the attack I was thinking earlier is Metal Burst.
Toadsucruel. It's okay.
Its ability kind of sucks.
Being able to ignore like Sap Sipper's good. I think you ignore Insomnia too, but you ignore Insomnia, but then it wakes up.
You should, yes.
Because the way it works.
So the actual really cool thing about this is because you have a lower priority on your Spore, you know they're guaranteed to be asleep the next turn. I think that's the part that's really important to note.
I will say I have abused the heck out of that when I get a full sleep. I just click Spore on the next turn because I know they're gonna wake up before I get to use it. And so they're just like, well, I'm going back to sleep. Good night.
It's really a shame that this thing is absolutely hideous.
Oh, I love it. I love the design of this thing. It's not a very good VG. I just don't think it's gonna be like, it's not gonna be. You can't outdo Among Us.
Oh, dude, its shiny is absurd.
Yeah.
Oh, this is like the first good shiny I've seen.
King Gambit, whatever its name is. This is probably a solid B tier. Supreme Overlord's really good. Clodsire, I don't think you do anything. Not very good. Annihilate is a monster. This thing is a menace.
It's Rage Fist is very good.
Annihilate is very good.
Yep, Rage Fist is a very good attack.
Let's talk Paradox forms and Ruinous Pokemon, and then we can get out of here.
All right. Let's see. Did we talk about Clodsire?
Yes, it's you don't use that thing.
Oh, it's
cute.
Really cool. I love it. All right. So talking about the Paradox Pokemon, ones that are absurdly good, you have Great Tusk, Screamtail, Fluttermane, Roaring Moon.
Brute Bonnet is also in that.
Brute Bonnet's like fine. I think I would rather have Amoonguss majority of the time.
It's in the solid builder. It's like I'm putting them in like Roaring Moon's clearly an S. Fluttermane's probably up there too.
Fluttermane's absolutely absurd.
Donphan's probably the Brute Bonnet's probably a B.
Sandy Shocks I think is pretty whatever.
It's like a C.
Yeah.
The Moth is also probably like a C.
I don't even know the Moth's name. That's how little I've seen it.
Not
Iron Moth. It's bug type. No, it's fire type.
No, it's right? Bug fighting. It's bug fighting. Slitherwing.
That's correct.
Base 135 attack.
105 special attack, special defense.
81 speed, 79 defense, 85 HP. Slitherwing and Brute Bonnet. Brute Bonnet's probably B. Slitherwing's probably C. Sandy Shocks is probably C. Then the Great Tusk is A, and then Fluttermane and Roaring Moon are both S. Iron Treads kind of fits into the same Donphan role, except it's steel instead of fighting. Like, they're fine. Quark Drive's harder to use, though.
Agreed. Which is why I think Great Tusk is better.
Yeah.
Of the future Paradox ones, I think the ones that are notable are Iron Bundle, Iron Hands, and Iron Valiant. I think the others are probably a tier below, with like Iron Draculus and Iron Thorns probably being the worst of them.
I actually think Iron Moth is garbage.
Dude, Iron Moth hits really hard with like choice specs overheats.
The problem is you lose all the fun stuff of Volcarona.
That's not true. Oh, we don't have Quiver Dance.
You lose all of the fun stuff that Volcarona gets.
That can't be true. We don't have Will-O-Wisp. We don't. Oh.
Yeah. This thing is, it's really powerful when it hits you, but that's all it does is it tries to hit you. Like, and like I said, Quark Drive is inherently worse than all of the other, like, all the Protosynthesis Pokemon. I actually think Iron Thorns is somewhat decent comparatively.
Well, this is rather unfortunate.
Like, Iron Thorns has base 134 attack, base 110 defense, base 84 special defense, base 100 HP. This thing carries an Assault Vest extremely well. You have access to all the fun, like, physical moves you could ever want on Iron Thorns. Like, Heavy Slam's really good. You have Body Press. You have Crunch, Dragon Claw, Earthquake, Fire Fang, Fire Punch, Ice Fang, Ice Punch, Thunder Fang, Thunder Punch.
So,
well, not Thunder Fang. That's weird.
Here's a fun piece of trivia for you. All the future Paradox Pokemon have 570 base stat total, except for Iron Valiant.
Yeah.
Which has 590.
Yep. I believe Roaring Moon is the 590 in the Photosynthesis Pokemon.
It is. That's so weird.
Because those are the pseudo legends for that one.
But like, Tyranitar and Hydreigon are both pseudo legends. I don't understand their logic. Whatever.
It's just how it works. Yeah, Iron Jugulus is okay at best. It's usable. It needs a lot of help. Iron Thorns is a solid build around. Iron Tread's a solid build around. Iron Valiant's very strong. Iron Bundle's very strong. Iron Hands is probably the best Iron Pokemon.
Bundle hits really freaking hard, man.
You just gotta hit your moves.
That's the God's honest truth right there.
Like, Iron Hands just is able to be more consistent across the board. Overall. Plus, it's electric fighting Hariyama.
Yeah, but it loses Guts, which is a huge downgrade.
That's why you just play Booster Energy for +1 attack. But most of the time, you just want to play Assault Vest. I'm going to put these guys in their place really fast so we can talk about them.
We have 4 more.
Yep. Wo-Chien, the Tablets of Ruin, is a really good ability.
Is this the snail?
Yeah, it's just unfortunate that Grass Dark is not very good as a typing.
Yeah, the snail sucks.
Tinglu, the Ground Dark Deer. Vessel of Ruin is pretty much the inverse of Tablets of Ruin. It lowers their special attack, which makes this thing insanely bulky and a solid build around Pokemon.
It's cool. I played with it quite a bit. It was on my first draft of one of my teams that I started playing with. It was fine. That's about the best I could say about it. It was fine.
Yep. And then obviously the other two, Chien-Pao, Chi-Yu, both monster S tier Pokemon.
Yep, absolutely absurd.
Being able to lower defenses is a much better option than being able to lower the damage you are taking in this situation, I think, right now. Wo-Chien and Tinglu might raise up in popularity as the meta starts to kind of solidify, but right now, Chi-Yu and Chien-Pao are both very, very strong, both very, very good Pokemon.
I am surprised we don't have one for minus speed. I'm glad we don't, because that sounds obnoxious.
I think the idea is they wanted another quartet, just kind of like the Tapu's War. I did a lot of theory crafting when I was like when we were getting leaks. We hadn't seen the designs, we didn't know what they were doing yet, but we got the typings. We knew they were all dark type, and I was sitting there thinking in my head, I'm just like, well, Wo-Chien is Grass Dark, which beats Tapu Fini, which is Water Fairy. Like, that's just like kind of how that plays out. The fairies are always going to beat the dark types, but the grass type beats the water type. And I was trying to like find their counterparts and kind of think, like, theory craft this stuff. There's Tinglu, Tapu Koko, Electric and Ground is really cool. Like, obviously Psychic is gonna be weak to dark no matter what. And so the idea there is you want to resist the fairy so you're not weak to fairy, so you're Chi-Yu, which is fire dark. And then you have Tapu Bulu, which is grass, who is weak to ice, which is weak to Chien-Pao. And that's kind of just like where I think their design thought process went. And so it's like, we're going to have a quartet just like the Tapus, but they're going to be opposite. Because they even have a signature move opposite the Tapus.
Yep. It's really cool. I love it.
Which is really cool. But yeah, we're not talking about Koraidon and Miraidon. They're both really good, but they're not going to be in this VGC season, most likely.
Yep, for sure.
So yeah, there's our list. Tier list is done.
The official, definitive
this is our opinion.
There is nothing to change. This is actually factual. There is nothing to argue, except for Tinkaton, which is clearly the best Pokemon on this list.
No. There's a lot that I think, if Tinkaton had like an extra 30 stats in attack, I think it'd be great.
I am not disagreeing. I'm all for making the good Pokemon better.
I don't think it's that good. It's just not that good. Okay.
I think it's time to go get dinner so I can go to bed.
It is time to get out of here.
All right. As always, everyone, thank you so much for watching. If you want to like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff, it really does help us out. If you're listening over on YouTube, make sure you do all that. If you're listening on any of the other audio-only platforms, make sure you leave us a review and like, 5 stars, all that good stuff. Hit the subscribe button so you can get this in your feed every Monday. Past that, you can always follow us over on Twitter at LR Lessons, myself at Mr. Missouri25, Carl's at Musical VGC. You can follow both Carl and myself over on Twitch at Mr. Missouri25 and at Musical. And let's see, you can come and join the community Discord. That link is down in the show notes. Go check out the website, lrlessons.com. Head on over to the merch page while you're there. Pick you up some sweet, sweet merch. Do you have your hat on today?
I do. I have my hat on pretty much every day now that it's cold.
It's getting chilly. Yes, I will agree to that. It was rainy, gross, dumb, stupid stuff today, and it was just miserable.
Yep.
But yeah, go and check that out. If you want to support us, but you don't want to pick up merch, because I get it, it can be expensive, you can go ahead and hop over to Anchor for as little as 20 or 25 cents an episode. You can help keep the lights on. So I believe that is everything, and that is it for this week, everyone.
Sounds about right.
All right. Have a fantastic day. We will see you next week. Have a good one. Peace.